Yeah, what up? I am Chris Poppy Chulo Miller. I am talking the hottest story of the summer, probably a 2020 actually. The whole 2020. We talking this Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lane shooting. I'm with my guy, my brother Mitri. I got the Bronx in the building.
What's poppin'? What's poppin'? What's poppin'?
Yeah, what up?
Peace to the people. Peace to the people. I'm good, man. I'm good living. Just
How
enjoying
you
my
how you
off
living
day and
during this
shit.
pandemic, man?
Oh man, pandemic ain't shit to me, man. We've been out here. We've been out here regardless of the fact. Everything, the virus stopped this time. You know what type of time we on. We out here. They know the
You
scouts.
fucking
They know the
this
scouts.
dude been out to the gym and everything since the beginning of
Still.
quarantine.
Still got bust moves, even in the pandemic. Just put your face mask on and move accordingly. It's not hard. It's
Nah,
really not hard.
heard you. Good to hear that you're good, though. Appreciate you for joining me on. We got this good
Anytime, man.
topic. Before we get started, though, go ahead and like this video because I know this is a hot topic right now. Subscribe so you stay updated, and go ahead and run up them comments because I know everybody got some opinions. So go ahead and run them joints up real quick. Follow my socials. I'm gonna have that in the description. Now, I want to start by saying this right here is not us picking no sides. We're not with Tory. We're not with Megan. We just open-minded and we don't rely on strictly hearsay to be able to, come up with a decision or a conclusion. I think I could speak on for both of us with that. Now, I felt like this was the perfect time to be able to talk about this because Tory Lanez finally opened up and he dropped the album saying how he feel and what that he didn't do it basically. So now that this album has came out, he's saying that he didn't do it. Mitri, how you feeling about Tory Lanez after he finally breaks the silence saying he didn't do it? What's your thoughts?
Let me start by saying first and foremost, the project. If we just talking music aside, I think we should tackle tackle it like that. Music aside, this is like musically probably Tory Lane's best project. In my personal opinion, this is Tory Lane's best project he ever made. I don't know. Certain artists have like a situation that pops up that gives them motivation to make their best piece of music.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the material in every song on this project was like obviously it was like beating the dead horse. Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's telling his story. He's telling the story.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the whole entire listen. I downloaded the whole entire shit. I was like, oh, it's only fire. It's only fire. Damn, man, this nigga, but hey, it's a masterpiece, man. Regardless of the situation, he made a good body of music.
Since you jumped the gun, let me elaborate on that. Since you jumped the gun, I had that in here, of course, but I was going to talk about it later. The album was hard. I ain't gonna hold you. The album
was hard. Project, man. Tory came with it. He came with it.
I listened to the whole joint multiple times. He didn't do no remixes on the other songs. This is strictly him. He's trying to let you know he could spit. He could do something. So there's people out there that try to say don't listen to him. He only remixes songs. He's not that good. I had girls that was going crazy for Chicks Mixtape 5. And now that he came out with this, they like, we're not going to listen to him. He's a garbage artist and things like that. But the album is hard.
I seen some of them same girls under his lights when he been posting pictures ever since this joint. That's what I'm saying. Like, it is mad fickle. Like, a lot of shorties be like, y'all was just calling this nigga a monster, but now like he posts like now the pictures that he been posting post the Meg situation, y'all under his lights again. So well y'all can't play both sides. Y'all can't do that. Yeah. We see y'all.
I thought that was mad phony, but the project was hard. The only criticism or backlash I would say is that if he didn't do this, he should have came out with a statement saying that he didn't do this. I know he said he don't move on social media time. It's an open case, so he can't talk.
That's what I was gonna say. You hit the nail. You hit the nail in the coffin. It's the fact that he can't open the case. There's only so much information that he could possibly say without incriminating himself. The lawyers and his lawyers and shit ain't playing that game. But everybody should take that into consideration. I know everybody's saying. Some people have to take that like, yo, he shouldn't be put in like come out with a statement versus you come out with music because obviously you're making a profit off of this. But it's like, yo, like what else can he do as an artist?
Exactly.
Certain artists address most of their issues within their music. That's what the music is for. That's the outlet for that. But I understand this man is in the open case. Like he can't. There's certain shit he can say. All he can do is allude to, "Oh, Meg, me and you know the truth. This and the third is gonna come to the light." That's all he can say.
Yeah. So the only thing is, I would say is he should have said something prior to this. He should have been like, Megan, I hope you get well. I didn't do this to my fans, whatever. I think he should have did that. But people that criticizing him for coming out with the album, I think that's terrible, because if he has a case, this is how he make his bread. This is how he make his money. This is his job, right? So this is how he stay afloat to make that money. If a blue collar worker, a white collar worker, an essential worker, if they were to get a case, they still go to work while this case is pending. If they're able to get out, they're still able to, do what they got to do to survive to get some money. So why is it
exactly? If he hasn't been proven, if he hasn't been proven guilty yet, then his income should be sacrificed off of that.
Exactly.
Right.
As we said, what are your takes after him coming out with the album? Do you think he shot Megan?
Let me put it like this, man. Only thing I can really say is that there's something to this. Is something to the situation. But I've been saying that since it popped off. I would like to think that I'm not gonna say a man, but just any person. I would think somebody would have some type of reason to maliciously shoot somebody. So, as random as the situation sounds, it's like, I don't know that person's situation. I just don't believe that he would just shoot her for no reason. And if every song seems to be him alluding to, we both know what happened. We both know what happened. I would like to think that Tory's not that dumb to be saying that shit, and it'd be like he's literally just saying the shit just to say it.
Yeah.
But like the way he's pressing it is like, we both know what happened. God got me. Not tripping. This and the third. Don't worry. Even after this, I'ma still forgive you. I would like to believe that there's something to this that we don't know, because there's been you probably gonna touch base on it, but there's been small little unfollowings on social media, shit like that, from people at Megan's camp. That's what I'm saying. From people at Megan's camp, like her best friend unfollow her shit on social media.
Yeah.
Hasn't she been silent during this whole entire situation? That's why when situations like this hit the fan, it's like, whoever comes out and tells their side of the story first is always going to be the most believable person.
Exactly.
Also, at the same exact time, right now, Megan's is one of the most favorite fucking artists in the world. So whatever she says goes. Like,
exactly.
Whatever she says goes. But you can't do that, especially when this man hasn't been proven guilty of shit. Like whoever comes out with their story first is always going to win. That's why sometimes I feel like it's not fair for Tory. Like whatever he says is always gonna look down upon. Like, but he only can defend himself to a certain point, seeing that's an open case. Do I believe more shit's gonna be revealed when they actually go to court? Yes, I believe so. Yeah. But I've been seeing stuff from like last week of I guess Meg saying people want me to be wrong about my own situation so bad. Like,
yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. But yeah, go ahead, take the floor, man. Go ahead.
So what I was going to say is, I don't necessarily, like we said, we're not taking no sides. So I'm not saying that Tory Lanez is innocent. I'm not saying that.
I'm definitely not saying that too. I just think people need to understand there's always two sides to the story.
Well,
y'all looking at it from y'all looking at the world from Superman's eyes in a way. You're looking at Metropolis from Superman's eyes. So nobody looks at it from the villain side. Like, nobody looks at it from the villain side to see what they saw.
Yeah. I was gonna say there's always three sides. So there's the victim, the defendant, then the truth. So my thing was, I can't really say that Tory Lanez is guilty of this. Now, a lot of people are saying, based off the hearsay that Megan says she did it, just like how you guys are saying that Megan Thee Stallion saying Tory Lanez did it. Why can't you hear Tory Lanez side of the story just like you're hearing Megan Thee Stallion's story, right?
My point.
So within the justice system, you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty, right? But as a black man, we often have to face the criticism of being guilty until we get our day in court and we have to prove our innocence in court. I just feel like he's not getting his fair shake. He's not being able, people are closing him out. He's not able to explain.
Because it's the climate that we're in. It's the climate that we in. And first, I do want to first and foremost say I'm with protecting women at all costs, but I just seem as if like even like and then for people to take the Breonna Taylor situation and try to somewhat apply it to the Tory Lanez, like it's two different scenarios. Two different scenarios.
This isn't
like for y'all to.
This isn't no stand your ground case. This isn't no police brutality. These are two black people. So you can't compare those scenarios too. Now, of course, two black women got shot, but this is a different scenario. As he said he's not trying to be no poster boy for the unprotected black women. He said his mother's black, his baby mother's black, his sister's black. So it's the same thing with us. I've only dated black women, Hispanic women. My mother's black, my sister's black. I got black women and Hispanic women in my family. So of course that's right. Yeah, protect the women, but this man is a black man as well. You can't say that he's guilty and he's an innocent man. Innocent men get sent to jail on the daily. So
daily.
There needs to be some open eye. There need to be some open mind.
Also taking consideration that, not saying Megan, if girls want to admit to this or not, a lot of y'all victimize, a lot of y'all frame men for crimes they didn't do. So let's take that in consideration. There is petty females out here that would do this. Not saying Megan's doing it, but there's petty females that would do this. That you know what I'm saying? But go in the mirror, put the makeup on. Yep. I was attacked. Like, understand that this does happen. This does happen. But it's not going to be believable in this climate just because there are many situations within these past couple of years of women being abused and whatnot. So it's not going to be. They're not going to think about it being staged. So understand that some girls will do this out of pettiness.
Yeah. We're not saying that she's lying. But just as you touched on a lot of stuff that I'm going to touch on, so I'm gonna be kind of trying to carry up and catch up on everything.
I'm here for it.
Just like you said, people could be making this up. Now we're not saying that she's lying. However, in his songs, he does mention that they've done things, and then she's trying to hide it from her best friend, right? So if she's trying to hide the fact that she's chilling with a dude from her best friend, and she's lying about the situation that she's chilling with this one dude, what makes you think she won't lie about this scenario? And this is a escalated event. This is an escalated scale of events. If she's lying about this small thing and just about chilling with Tory Lanez, who's to say she won't lie about this?
My point.
Now Tory Lanez also said, I'm going to read this. He says, you yourself don't even know the full story. Why are you letting people escalate it? So, of course, we all know that they were drunk during the situation, and people that are close to both of them say that she's aggressive when drunk. She's argumentative towards Tory.
One of her hairdressers came out and said something, made a statement saying, I no longer work for. I think she said that she no longer works for Megan, but there's been times where she will come to Megan's house, and like Megan, if she's intoxicated, Megan does come off across as like more aggressive than usual and stuff like that.
Exactly. So with these statements and things like that, I just don't think you can just throw Tory Lanez away. They want to
under the bus.
Throw away the key. And just because he didn't say anything, at that point in time when it was convenient for them, he said on his own right that he doesn't move on social media, tells him to move and things like that. God got him, as you mentioned. Now, he also mentioned that he feels the label is framing him. Which would make sense because
Megan is the fucking Megan is fucking powering most of this fucking music industry, man. Exactly. Are you serious? You understand the engine that she has behind her. She has fucking Rock Nation's managing you. Oh yeah, like I'm not saying they are, but I can definitely see a big ass label in their position. You got to think about there's many people that's invested money into Meg Thee Stallion. Right. Like, oh no, you can't hurt the product. Nah, you can't. Yeah. We're all eating off this. You can't hurt the product. She said, what? No, you can't. This is the breadwinner right here. So this happens. This happens behind the scenes. But yes, labels will quote unquote blackball you.
Yeah.
To defend their breadwinner, because their breadwinner has to appeal also to the white media.
Yeah.
So if it looks bad upon white media, oh, we're not making money no more.
Yeah, facts. So I was gonna say that. So like the representation that she has within Rock Nation, it kind of, in essence, it's an image upon them because it's kind of like Jay-Z and them that they're looked upon in that light. So what she does kind of affects them, so to speak. And then Megan Thee Stallion, like we're saying, she's probably played, like, you know, with me being within the radio industry as well, she's played within, I would say, roughly 5 to 10 times within the hour on the radio station. She's at the top of every charts, Hot 100 and everything like that. So they have to protect her. So the story makes sense that they would frame her because, let's keep it a fact.
Frame him.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, frame him, but keep it all the way 100. Megan Thee Stallion is way higher than Tory Lanez is right now.
Yeah, of course.
Another thing that kind of makes it mind-boggling that people are just, you know, ready to throw away Tory, not listen to him. Now, the fact of the matter is the gun was Tory Lanez. There's no argument there. But, however, if there's no proof of evidence that the residue of the gun was on Tory Lanez's hand, how in the world can you just...
Because I don't even think that information even came out yet, has it?
What?
That his handprint was on the gun.
Yeah, they said that there was no residue from the gun on his hands. So if the gun residue isn't on his hands, right? We in LA, this is the middle of the summer. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not wearing no gloves in the middle of the summer. I don't think this was a planned event.
Sound like OJ or some shit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't think this is no planned event. So he didn't have the OJ Simpson glove. So how in the world can you convict somebody if the evidence isn't even on his hand?
That's the world for you, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like, but that's the small things that people don't even ask themselves, man. Mm-hmm. They just look at the headline. You can't rock with the headline and not ask these questions because this is a serious matter. Exactly. This is a serious matter, and the way this is treated is like people understand that right now. Tory Lanez, depending on if he wins or loses his cases, this is kind of like he's gonna be like the poster child for like us black men that go through these situations in the future. You feel me? So like this is important that like if this is true, throw him under the jail. If it's false, then like y'all need to get that man his roses back. Like what the fuck? Like that's crazy.
Exactly.
Even he said like the whole rap industry, all the men in the rap industry going at him crazy. And you heard the album, him saying like, yo, like Bun B, like you coming at me. You made Big Pippa with Jay popping champagne on women. Like let's make it like let's call it spade a spade. Like no one sin can't be worse than the other. Exactly. But that's neither here nor there though. But yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I like this energy.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm not defending Tory Lanez, but I'm just saying, like, damn, like, there's so like, how do y'all not question any of this? Like, like, how do y'all not question any of this? Like, it's crazy.
So, very, very important because he is facing 22 years, a little bit more than 22 years for this. So
that's hefty, man.
Throwing this man's life away, the rest of his, well, not the rest, but a good portion of his life away, 22 long years that he wouldn't be able to get back if y'all falsely accusing him of this crime that he might not have done. So I'm with you too. If he did it, absolutely, 100%, he should face the time, he should face the consequences, but you can't just throw the man in jail, you know, abort him or whatever, abandon him if we don't even know if he did it. Now, me and you, we got good loyalty. We go way back, right? Mm-hmm. If, God forbid, but if you shoot me, bro, I'm not getting back in the car with you, bro. You just lost all my trust, all my loyalty, bro. If you shoot me, I ain't getting back in the car with you. So for her standpoint, if she just got shot by this man, why she get back in the car with him? I'm walking, I'm calling the Uber, I'm getting another ride. I'm not going back.
And my point, but you know, the way they're saying is that she was playing the part because the police pulled up and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying they play a part. Listen, if I get shot by anybody, I don't give a fuck what officer is in front of me. I'm not playing no part. I'm out that car. What the fuck? What makes you think I'm gonna sit back in the car with somebody that shot me?
Yeah.
Cause the cops come in. What? The fuck, nigga? You got me, yo. What type of shit? What type time would I be on? What the fuck?
Now, she also, now if you think about it, the original story, now again, I'm not saying she lied, I'm not taking Tory Lane's side. We just need to have an open mind of this whole thing. The beginning of the story, when the story first came out, The story was that she was cut on her foot with some glass. I don't even know if any glass was exploded all over the car for her to be cut in the foot, but the beginning of the story was that she got cut in the foot with some glass. Now the story has changed
to a gunshot wound.
A gunshot, couple of different stories now, from not saying anybody's name to now Tory's the shooter. How do you go from not saying nothing and there was a glass cut to
Son, listen, literally. And the thing about it is that I know people move on their own accord, but listen, if the glass wound was the first thing reported, and then like a week after the fact, or like days after the fact, no, it wasn't that. It was a gunshot wound.
Yeah.
Like, how did that just turn to a gunshot wound? And I know when she got on live that she was like Tori, Tori, you shot me. Yeah. You shot me. Like, I had to get then she post a picture of her foot and shit. She had to get the shit removed.
And they released records from the hospital saying that she did in fact get shot.
And it makes you think yo, do you know who even shot you? Like, you waited this long, like people was filling your head type shit, like, yo, nah, like, I saw him do it, like, he did it. He did it, like, Tori, you fucking shot me. You shot me. Yeah. You shot me. I think people in her head. I sometimes, like deep down, I believe that when it happened, she dead ass did not know who shot her. Yeah. I believe she did not know who shot her.
So in that situation, there's, reports or rumors that there was a little argument. Apparently, maybe her and Kelsey got into an argument. They might have been fighting over Tory, whatever the case may be. Again, we weren't there, but apparently they were in an argument. So I kind of believe that maybe there's a possibility that they were in an argument over Tory, whatever. They had the gun. Tory came back to the situation. Tory came back to them too as they're arguing to try to probably de-escalate the situation. In the midst of everything, maybe she shot herself.
I think that's why I've been thinking from the beginning. I've been thinking that it was a scuffle for a gun and it just went off. Yeah. And Tory's being framed for it because it was his gun.
Why do Kelsey and Megan Thee Stallion, as you mentioned now, I told you I'm going to touch base on everything that you
unfollowed her best friend.
But best friend. Now, why do they kind of have a fallout over this situation? Because Kelsey's not speaking up and defending what Megan has said. Now they go from following each other, being best friends. Now they're not talking, unfollowing each other. The unfollow thing is kind of childish. But if you're not messing with somebody, that's the way the day and age.
Yeah, that's what you would do.
We gonna stop.
Because listen, if Kelsey had nothing to do with it, her lawyers wouldn't tell her to unfollow her. A lawyer shit will only tell you to unfollow. Like, obviously, if Tory Lanez if he's the one being convicted of the crime, then your lawyer would be like, yo, you need to unfollow her off of social media. It's too hot.
True.
So if your best friend didn't do it, why would she unfollow you knowing how hot this situation is?
True. That raises eyebrows, right?
Your best friend.
True.
Why would your best friend unfollow you if she had nothing to do with it? If Tory was the person that did it.
And apparently, now I don't know if it was the hairdresser or somebody that Megan used to get clothes from in the area, like Houston or something.
I think that's what I meant. The one that said she used to, they used to come to her house and they said she was mad aggressive.
Apparently, that girl said Kelsey told her the story, but Kelsey, of course, isn't ready to open up yet about the situation. But apparently, Kelsey said Tory's story isn't too much off from the truth and what happened, what Kelsey is saying.
That's what I also heard too. That mad people, that the stylist or whatever said that what Tory is saying in these songs isn't too far off from like the truth. Too far-fetched.
So if we coming up with all these troubling parts and pieces, listen, if Tory Lanez ends up being innocent, this is absolutely the craziest story of 2020. But why are we not having this open mind, these open discussions of what could have possibly happened, and we're shunning Tory Lanez, and we have all these questions and unanswered situations in the air?
I believe that there's more to it, man. I don't think Tory would make a whole project about this shit, alluding to the truth. We both know the truth for like no fucking reason, man. Yeah. I know you for no fucking reason.
He says that he was pouring out his heart to her and telling people that he really cared about her, and now the joke is on him. If he said, he of course mentions he would never harm her. He loves her. He mentioned that he loves her. It is kind of hard to believe that he would put her through all of this if he really feels the way that he feels and is saying these things in this album right here.
Damn, man. But hey, man, the man hasn't been he hasn't been sentenced, man. That's what I'm saying. Like the thing is, he's not guilty yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's not guilty yet. My biggest thing I've been telling any of my like women friends and colleagues, I've been telling them, yo, just wait until the court hearing. Just wait until the court.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, because I'm telling y'all, there's something else to this fucking story that all y'all gonna have to literally gonna ask Tory for forgiveness. There's something to it.
It's gonna look crazy.
And once again, I'm not trying to say Megan is lying. I'm just trying to say that sometimes you have to take a step back and look at it from both angles. A lot of y'all is not looking at this from Tory's perspective at all.
Yeah.
Megan said the shit, y'all been rolling with it.
Yeah, because like for me, when I first heard that when Megan first came out, I was like, Tory shot me. He shot me. I was like, dang, Tory, you bugging. Like, you shot a female? Like, I was one of the people that originally was like, dag, Tory is
believe that he did it.
Yeah, prior to him coming out with the album. But once he comes out with the album, he's coming out with a story. And also, that's why I say he needed to come out with a statement, because you're for certain, if you're quiet for too long, it kind of seems, especially when she's
the accusation settles in. It's hard to you can't get away from it.
He should have said something. But once he comes out with his album and he's telling you his side of the story, you gotta take a step back, fall back, and you gotta hear both sides. Now you gotta analyze it. And it's a lot of people.
Some people may have a different take, Chris, because some people say when the message is in music, is easier to convince people because the message is in music. You're bopping with it. You're vibing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So people say it's more convincing.
And also in one of his songs, he mentions that the black Twitter is always bringing or tearing the black man down. He says, Chris Brown changed his life for the right, and he still found a way to tear him down and bring him back in. He said, we want the fall of every black man. He's not going. As a black man, do you agree with that statement? Do you feel like that's true?
Yes, just because we always get flack for not protecting black women, which is I think is overused at this point now. I think the rhetoric has been that black men don't protect black women, but we do this for black men. We do this for black men. We do this for black men. But also at the same exact time, let's speak on but y'all clown black men that are working the register at McDonald's.
Or don't have a job.
Or don't have a job. Y'all tear them down.
Or don't have a car.
Or don't have a car. Y'all tear them down. We're not protected. We're not protected when it comes to that.
That's a fact.
I'm all about perspectives, man. I'm a perspective person.
It's just like the narrative of when somebody does a good deed, it's overlooked. It's never looked upon. But then when they do a bad deed or anything like that, and it's globalized. We lost them, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm done.
So what I was saying, I don't want to bring light on this, but this is just an example. This guy's one of my men. When I first, was at this scene with him, I first met this dude, and I just said this on my podcast. By the way, go check out my podcast. I'm dropping that, or I have that, my first episode up with my guy, George Robinson. George, see what I'm saying, Robinson, go check that out on my podcast. Link is going to be in my Instagram, and I have the link below. But when John Wall does something, he's often overlooked for everything that he does. He does things in the city of Washington, D.C. all the time.
Throwing up them rules, throwing up them sets.
All the time. The moment he starts gangbanging, throwing up his set and stacking and stuff like that, that wants to be glorified, but it's never looked at everything else that he does for his city, the people, his people. And
what he does back in North Carolina, what he does in D.C.
Yeah, and to keep it a stack with you, he stacked during the game. When he playing well, he stacks.
Always.
You don't say nothing about that. So
NBA don't say shit unless he's scoring the point.
Exactly. So it goes back to what you said, that they just always want to glorify the bad and the downfall. And then when it's something that we do well, that's overlooked. I also want to mention, so he says, along with that, he says, it's kind of crazy. He said, white folks ain't even saying nothing. He said, only celebs I'm seeing hating are my same color. He said, you got to listen because God, he got to get his endeavor. He says, Tori, you in the situation, not because he hating, he's using Megan as a vessel and as a test of faith. And even when you're at the bottom, it's when you're at the bottom, it's when he makes his way in. He said, God, I thank you for turning me into a demonstration. Based on this, he said the only celebrities I'm seeing hating are the same color. He mentioned this in the album as well. The people that were still ranting and raving about quarantine radio, and they were on his joint, sucking them hard for this joint. He was at the top. He was breaking Instagram records and everything like that. Now, the moment that this happened,
the moment you're not, but Chris, the moment you're not benefiting them,
he says now they left him in the dark, and he don't hear the same phone calls that he was getting about quarantine radio. He's not receiving them phone calls no more.
Because you're in a tiff with the biggest entity in music right now.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose.
Like for Kalani, somebody like Kalani, so he got into it with Kalani, J.R. Smith, JoJo, Dream Doll,
More from the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah. But so with somebody like Kalani, who she says she took him off of the album because of, the Black empowerment, Black women empowerment, things like that. She has a loyalty towards Megan. But if you listen to this album, now you get a different perspective. Tory Lanez is saying he held her kid and they used to talk about different relationships and they had a really strong relationship. So it's somebody
that's your friend. So at the end of the day, you should try to be there for your friend. Talk to your friend about what happened. This and that third.
That's true.
That's industry friendships.
Mm-hmm.
You're not helping them.
In addition to that, now I'm not in Kalani's shoes. We don't know what is the truth or whatever, but I feel like that's something that you got to ride the thin line on. You can't really pick a side with that if what Tory Lanez is saying is true.
Now, what if the song with Tory Lanez on her album was the most streamed song right now? You think she's taking Tory off that song?
I don't know, because JoJo did.
If that song is the number, let me put this in perspective. If that song is the number one song on the Billboard Hot 100, is she taking Tory Lanez off that song? Is JoJo taking Tory Lanez off that song?
Probably not.
All right, man. This goes back to the benefit. When you're not benefiting them, they don't need you.
That's true.
They don't need you. Not saying they can have their opinions on brutality towards like women, Black women, but at the end of the day, if you're not benefiting me, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for me to choose a side. I gotta choose a side. I'm gonna stand on what I stand on.
This is a true testament that they only love you when you hot.
Literally only love when you hot. Literally only love you when you hot. You know that. They only want to talk to you when you get a car. They wasn't talking to you before. When you get a crib, now everybody want to hit you up type shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's always like that.
The what he also mentions in this is that he hopes that he can reestablish, their friendship, their relationship that they had, at least for their mother's sake. As I mentioned, he loved her, but they built a bond based on the two because both of the mothers passed away. At least even for that sake, I mean, I think, you think they should be able to rekindle this friendship or this relationship, or is it going to?
No, because you sacrificed my public image to protect yours. That's not happening. Listen, honestly, I don't give a fuck if our mom's is on a Tempur-Pedic casket. You sacrifice my public image.
Yeah.
For yours, to protect yours at all costs. Obviously,
that's true.
There's no rekindling shit. I'm different. There's no rekindling shit. I don't rekindle shit. I'm off that. You got me fucked up. You really got me fucked up, Meg Thee Stallion. If you did that shit to me, I don't get 2 shits in there. You got me fucked up. They ain't rekindling shit, bitch. We went to the whole court here and everything. You think I'm rekindle shit? We good off that.
But he says, who else you know in the industry that would take the blame, take all these memes and everybody chastising him, and you know, he's staying silent. Who else you know in this industry that would take?
Tori, listen, this is a message for me. You have no choice but to do this right now. You can't do shit. I'm hearing your story. It's just that you can't do shit right now until you get to the courtroom. I'm sorry. Like, you have no choice. I understand what you're trying to say. Like, who else can take this story? You can't. That's all you can do right now. That's all you can do. You can't say that much shit.
But look, the funniest part of this album, though.
The Most High. That's my song, dog. The Most High. Praise to the Most High.
The funniest part of this album was the fact that people were dissing him so much for being short and a midget. He had to address that in the album. He was like, I'm not 5'3", I'm 5'7". He did not like the fact that these
lie like a motherfucker. Lie like a motherfucker. I did the math, nigga. I know my height. Nigga, you're not even the same height as me. What the fuck, nigga? You lying ass nigga?
He
what
said,
you talking about?
All these girls that are dissing him for being a midget and everything, that's one thing he had to address. I'm not 5'3".
But they will fuck him. That's the shit that be funny. But they will fuck him. The fuck? No, but they will fuck him. They will be in his DM. They was one of those viewers when he was going live on Quarantine Radio.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody was. That's
man,
why
listen, man.
Instagram statistics and them live numbers.
Yeah, they do anything for clout.
Before we I just want to say, man, we're not taking no sides.
No sides, man.
There's not enough facts. There's not enough proof. There's a lot of hearsay. We just drawn up these questions that question your mom, because there's no way that he's 100%.
Superman could do a crime too. That's what we're trying to say. Superman could do a crime too.